Americans. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi says she is now optimistic the Democrats may be able to reach a deal with the White House on a new COVID-19 relief package and get that aid out by early next month. But Senate Republicans, she says, aren't on board. Elon Lilly joins us with more this morning. Good morning.
Well, that's right, Andrew. The White House and Democrats are still trying to work out a deal, but Senate Republicans are ready to throw in the towel. Majority Leader Mitch McConnell has reportedly encouraged the White House not to commit to a deal until after the election. He is worried that this could affect the timing of a vote over the Supreme Court nominee, as well as divide the GOP caucus ahead of the election. Now, Senate GOP Republican Mitt Romney said flat out that he is not going to support a $1.8 trillion price tag that the White House is offering, and he is not sure that that would even pass the Senate. Meanwhile, his colleague Kevin Cramer said that he's not sure the president can change anybody's mind.
Where he could get Republican votes if they would come to some sort of an agreement around that number. I'm not sure that there would be.
So still, the Treasury Secretary and House Speaker Nancy Pelosi will be back on the phone again this afternoon, as her office does say that they are moving closer to an agreement. Guys, even though they blew past the deadline that she had set yesterday, she did say that it showed that both sides are serious about finding compromise. Back over to you.
So here's the question I'd have for you. And by the way, credit to Becky, because she's made this point over and over again, that even if the president comes up with a plan, that the Republicans may not ultimately go along with it. What does that mean in terms of that disconnect for, I hate to say it, the politics of the next 2 weeks?
Yeah, I think that, first we saw division over dollars, then we saw division over policy. Right now, what we're seeing is a divide over politics. And I think the calculus for a lot of vulnerable GOP senators who are looking at whether they can even get reelected is, do they go along with what the president wants? We've seen people like David Perdue and Kelly Loeffler sort of double down on Trumpism ahead of their campaigns. But if they do that, do they risk alienating part of their base that are fiscal conservatives at heart? And people like David Perdue, who have been on the show multiple times, are people who have espoused that fiscal conservatism. So, this puts them in a really tough position. And that's why they just don't want to take this vote or have to make this decision before the election. This is something that politically could be better for them to kick the can down the road, see how things shake out on November 3rd, and then go from there.
Becky?
Which is, Andrew and Elon, I'll throw this out to both of you. I mean, that's kind of the point I've been making for a long time. Why wouldn't Pelosi say, okay, cut a deal with the president who does want to get $1,200 stimulus checks out to everyone with his name on it, and then put the pressure on the Senate? I don't understand why they didn't take this tack sooner, unless it's a situation where Nancy Pelosi can't control her own party either. She needs to talk tough on this, or she's not going to have the votes. I don't know the answer to that, but I mean, if you're playing politics, I don't understand why they didn't do this sooner. And if you want to make sure that you get a deal passed and you actually want to get money out, I don't know why they didn't do this sooner. It's stupid.
Well, hard to say that Nancy Pelosi wouldn't have her party with her, because they already passed, they've made multiple efforts in the House level to pass stuff before, and they have. So I'm not sure that Nancy Pelosi doesn't have her party with her.
The other thing is though, if you don't do it now, right now you have a president who is going to put pressure on the Republicans in the Senate. And if you don't win the Senate as the Democrats, then you are going to have an even less likely chance of getting anything passed post the election. Look, right now we've got a president who wants to get stuff out.
But let me raise one more point too, Becky. So is that, Pelosi has been saying throughout this process that she is optimistic about finding a deal, right? But she says she's optimistic and then lists the 15 points of where they have disagreements and where she says that President Trump disrespects science, isn't willing to crush the virus, et cetera. So by continuing these negotiations, she's actually able to keep a spotlight on the talking points that Democrats have been trying to hammer home, which is that President Trump doesn't have control of this. So perhaps by continuing to negotiate, she can continue to show the way that Democrats and Republicans are handling this differently, and that becomes a political advantage. I think that you're right in that they waited almost too long, and now that they're so close to the election, they simply can't bridge the political divide.
Shepard Smith here. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube.